Welcome back to Studio 5. Is your parenting approach stressing you out?
Our next guest says many well-meaning moms may be putting themselves at risk for depression or anxiety just by the way they parent. Therapist Julie Heng shares 5 common parenting beliefs that could lead to poor mental health. Yeah. Are we talking extremes here? Or are we talking normal, typical parenting things, or what are we talking here?
You know, what's interesting about this new research is that all of these beliefs are kind of how we define good mothering these days. But what surprised me is that, gosh, maybe we need to look at that maybe how we think about motherhood and how our style actually can negatively impact our mental health. So,
and this style is being called intense parenting.
Right.
So what is intense parenting?
So intense parenting is, and we're going to go through the 5 beliefs of that, but the first one is that mothers are more important than fathers. Or they call it essentialism. Moms are the more essential and capable parent. And that belief is actually associated with less satisfaction in life for mothers. And so it's not really about whether it's true or not. It doesn't matter. It's how much the mom believes it's true.
So is it the pressure of that statement that starts to weigh on mom's shoulders?
You know, I think so. It's like feeling, my guess is that it's just feeling like all this pressure is on you.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can come off. I mean, I've heard a lot of husbands complain, like, when I try to engage in parenting or caring for the children, my wife will criticize me. And so that's sometimes how it plays out in my therapy office, is moms kind of go, well, don't do it this way, do it because I know best and I'm more important than you are. And so I think it's really important for moms to let dads kind of take the lead and parent their way.
Let me ask you, is it something that the mom takes upon herself, saying, I am more important? I mean, does she really believe that? Or does society tell her she's that and she feels like she has to live up to it? Is it a combination?
You know,
or how
it's probably a combination. It's probably a combination. But balancing that out with, you know, your child, it does take a village to raise a child. Yeah. Grandma's important.
Not just a mom.
Teachers are important, right. And so I think we can modify that a little bit, and it might improve our mental health.
Okay, another common belief that you say can be a problem if taken too literally, that moms derive their own personal happiness primarily from the happiness of their kids.
Right, and that's a common, like, you think, well, isn't that what good moms do? They find joy in there.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, really looking to your kids for your happiness can actually become a burden on your children. Think about that. If you're the child thinking, I have to perform, I have to be #1, I have to behave so my mom can feel happy, that's actually destructive for your child. So it's important for moms to remember to really find joy in your adult relationships too, make sure those are well taken care of, and you're not focusing on the kids at the expense of your friendships and your adult love relationships, and also to find joy in a variety of activities that you like. You don't want to put that much burden on your kid, like, it's your job to make me happy.
Yeah.
That stresses out the kid, right?
Another thing, I think a lot of times in this day and age, parents feel this responsibility to give their children every opportunity and every advantage they possibly can.
Yeah.
And you say sometimes,
stimulate it, flashcards, and right. Now think about, this is a fairly new idea. I mean, if we were in an agrarian society, and throughout most of history, kids worked next to parents. It wasn't the parents were kind of like, okay, now here's the flashcards and you have to learn your ABCs by the time you're 2. And that idea that we need to be constantly stimulating our children is fairly new. Life is stimulating to children. And that unstructured playtime is crucial. Play is a child's work. And so I think there's a tendency with our competitive culture to kind of go, oh, we got to get them in swimming lessons at age 1 and soccer by 3, and to structure all these activities, but they really, really need downtime.
Okay, this next one is perhaps the biggest ahas. I read over your notes. You say moms need to let go of the belief that mothering is the hardest job in the world.
Yeah, so in this research from out of University of Mary Washington in Virginia. Okay, this was the biggest, so mothers who believed this, that parenting is the most challenging job, actually had the worst mental health.
So why? Is it because they're not living up to that, or they feel the pressure?
You know, I'm not sure, but my guess is that, you know, the self-fulfilling prophecy, it's like when you believe something is so hard, it becomes so hard. And so an example in the study was women who agreed that being a mother was as challenging as being a CEO, were more depressed, more stressed out, and less satisfied with life. Isn't that interesting?
I think that's fascinating.
Just how we believe, what we believe about what we're doing impacts how we feel about what we're doing.
How you approach it, how you view it. Not saying it isn't the hardest job in the world,
right.
because I think most people would say it is, but how you think about that and enforce that to yourself, affecting your own personal happiness, I think was a big aha.
Yeah, so again, it's not whether it's true or not, it's just how much moms believed that was associated with negative mental health outcomes. Yeah. Which it's fascinating. That's why I was so excited to share this.
It goes into that self-fulfilling prophecy again, where if you tell yourself, it's so hard, it's so hard, it's so hard.
My life is so hard, this is so,
then it becomes hard, it becomes hard, it becomes hard, and it's just this burden on you all the time.
So I think it's really important to recognize the perks of being a mom. I mean, some of the perks of being a mom are that I have a more flexible schedule. You know, like I get to take more naps than my husband who works full time, and you know, so I work part time, but there's more flexibility. You get to have those joys too of seeing your child progress in life. So it is really challenging, and there's also a lot of joy in it and a lot of perks that I think sometimes we forget about when we're like, oh, it's so hard, and like, ugh. You can kind of create that stress.
So play up those perks when you can. Finally, why is putting your child's needs first a bad idea?
Isn't that interesting? Because you think that's what good moms do, right?
Right.
But I think when moms do this to the extreme, what happens is we become stressed out and depressed, which in turn makes us less available to our kids, right? And resentful. I see a lot of women in my therapy office who have sacrificed everything for their kids, and now they're resentful because guess what? The kid didn't turn out how they wanted. It's like, I've given everything to you, and this is what I get. And so it's really important to balance your own personal needs and your child's needs, because you're equal, your value is equal to your child. So it's not just like we have to take care of them and not us. And you have to have a self to offer.
Yeah.
And these 5 beliefs that we've talked about, it's not necessarily saying they're wrong or they're incorrect. It's just that when you go overboard and to the extreme, that's what can lead to mom maybe having a little bit too much stress in her life and not having the mental health that she really wants and needs to for the health of her kids.
Right. And so I think these are really kind of it's a wake-up call to go, wait a second. How far to the extreme am I in believing these? And maybe come more to the middle, and that will decrease our stress level and improve our mental health, which
we all want to do.
Yay.
We all want to do. Thank you so much, Julie.
You're welcome.
Well, you know, of course, you can find Julie's article on intense parenting. It's on our website, studio5.ksl.com.